I wish I saw it coming. All the signs were there. My best friend was a victim, and I could have been more than just another helpless bystander. But now, I'm not sure she'll ever recover or be the same again. Her name was Evelyn. We were in 10th grade, still so young, naive, innocent, when she tells me about this boy. We'll call him Chaz. He's a couple years older, but by the sounds of it, he was this really sweet guy who just happened to be working in the tech section at her school. They connected over their love for theater, and before long, they started dating. It took a couple weeks, but eventually, during one of our sleepovers, I finally got to meet him. He seemed to be a nice guy, with a comforting smile and hundreds of jokes up his sleeves. If nothing else, he was pretty charming, and even though we didn't connect that well, I could see why Evelyn liked him. I didn't think anything of their relationship at first, but over time, that changed. He changed. And if anyone said that their relationship was off, he would respond by saying things like, "You're just saying that because you've never been in a true relationship before." Little by little, I realized what he was. A terrible human being who hid behind a kind and caring mask. I remember noticing that he seemed to get extremely touchy with her, even when people were around, and when I mustered up the courage to confront him about it, he got all defensive. He accused me of being jealous, and that, since I was younger, I didn't know what love was. I saw his true colors for the first time. Was he threatened by me? Soon after that, Evelyn began visiting less and less. Then one day, even though we had been organizing a performance for the neighbors for the whole week, she never showed up. When I asked her brother why, he revealed it was because she was hanging out with Chaz. Wait, what? Something was wrong. I knew this was important to her. So when I confronted her about it the next day, she looked away and said, "He didn't want me to go. He hadn't seen me all week, so I felt like I should." It felt like it was an answer she had rehearsed. But I didn't want to pretend to know how relationships worked, so I let it pass this time. And the next, and many, many times after that. I barely saw her now, and when I went to see her, her sister came out and told me that Evelyn, well, she didn't want to see or talk to me anymore. I was stunned. When I asked why, she said, "She thinks you're too boring. She wants someone like Chaz who brings her more excitement and joy." That wasn't the Evelyn I knew, and for the whole day, I was crying. I played it in my head over and over. What did I do? What can I change? Why does she see me that way? What did I do to hurt her or make her feel this way? For the next 2 years, I still cared for Evelyn, but kept my distance by spending time with her siblings. From time to time, I saw Chaz go into the house, or Evelyn leaving, but it was fleeting. But still, I should have known from the gruesome stares the boyfriend gave me, and the saddened glances my friend shared, that something was seriously off. Then, on June 29th, 2017, I was playing with her siblings when the youngest one pulled me off to the side and said, "Chaz did something to Evelyn. He hurt her." Hurt her? Confused, I demanded to know, "What do you mean? He did something?" But she never responded. She just ran off. As if she had heard us, it wasn't a few minutes later that Evelyn stepped out of the house onto the porch. She had big bags under her eyes and she looked exhausted, in pain, and utterly defeated. Then we made eye contact and she collapsed on the porch and began to cry her eyes out. I ran over to her, and before I could say anything, she said, "I'm so sorry. I was an idiot. I'm so sorry." And right as I wrapped her up in a hug, she explained everything that had happened. Chaz was a monster, and he had done many things to her. First, he decided that, since Evelyn was his girlfriend, he had full control of all of her actions. He saw her as his puppet, his trophy. He told her to burn any connection she had with other people. And from that point forward, he began abusing her in several ways, from emotionally and psychologically to physically. Pushing her against a wall, he'd often tell her that people don't want to be near an emotionally needy mess like you. He'd constantly yell at her, threaten her, and manipulate her, saying, "If you ever leave me, I'll kill myself." The overwhelming fear and doubt kept her chained to him until it went too far. It was the night he forced himself on her, and from there, it got worse. She had to be on birth control at just 15 years old. And finally, when she found out he was cheating on her, something snapped. Her chains came loose. She saw through all the excuses and left him. Now, still in my arms, she cried and shook like a leaf. She was scared, ashamed, and scarred by everything Chaz had done to her. It has almost been 2 years since she left him, and I can say that she is recuperating and finding the strength to start trusting people again. Everyone is human, and knowing this wonderful human being has helped me learn that people need to be aware of situations like this. No one deserves to be treated this way, not Evelyn, and not even Chaz. So if you notice red flags, please do something. Because even though I'm glad I was there for her when she needed me, I know I could have done a little more to prevent a lot of scars.